Alright, hello. Now it's been a while since I made a vid, which is like Tuesday, July 20 now. So today we are going to be making a tier list. Why? Because I want to. Now, here are the rules. Number one, Godzilla will not be in the list. He might get his own list one day, but not in here, since it's going to be the other monsters. Number two, it's based on my opinion. So if I hate your monster or love your least favorite, that's okay. I'm okay with you liking that monster or disliking the monster. It's your opinion. Now, let's start the tier list with Godzilla Jr. being first. Now, let me put him up first, probably A tier, because unlike the disaster that was Manila, at least this actually portrays like his father, and not like a whiny Godzilla says I should learn to fight my own battles. No, 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 not that crap. We want a true son, a loyal prince of the monsters, not a whiny little brat who sounds like a donkey for some reason. And Patrick as well. I don't know why. Well, a Patrick and Yogi Bear hybrid. Now the next one I'm gonna be doing Zangiris, and I had to climb it up to S tier. Now, why is he S tier? Well, simple. He's probably one of the best characters in the Godzilla library. He is Godzilla's best friend. He's actually kind of cool looking. He actually has great powers, and maybe one day, maybe in single point, he might win one day. But who knows at this point, since I'm not finished with watching that series yet. So be on the tune for that review one day. Not gonna come out like next week or next month, just probably one day. Probably when the show is actually finished or something. Now, next, let's see. Okay, King Kong. Let me put him somewhere in the S tier, because King Kong, as its own monster, including the Godzilla universe, is just a fun character. He's just really interesting. Even without Godzilla, he's a fun character to just watch. I just like the fights where he gets with, like him fighting a T-Rex, or him climbing the Empire State Building, or anything else. Heck, even the tree scene from King Kong vs. Godzilla, the 1962 one, where he just shoves a tree, like, eat your broccoli, Gojira. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyways, eat your broccoli, Gojira. And he was like, no, 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 no. That's kind of funny. And in fact, they actually also did this in like the 2020 remake. Well, actually, instead of a tree, it's the axe. So, yeah. Well, next up we got is Baragon. Alright. He's gonna be somewhere in, where? Should I do B for Baragon? Yeah, sure. I mean, Baragon isn't a meh character. I mean, he's at least at the top, at least. But he isn't very that interesting. I mean, he is kind of cute looking, kind of looking like a dog dinosaur hybrid, but that's really much it. I mean, GMK, he had some good fights, he had some good characters and stuff like that, but but himself, he's just like there. Even if Frankenstein conquers the world and destroy all monsters, he's just like, oh hey, I exist for no reason. Which, that's why I'm just gonna put him in B tier. Not a bad character, but so you should use him a bit more often. Okay, now Ebera. He's gonna be an F tier. Look, I'm sorry for those Ebra fans out there, but let me explain. Look, even though probably one day I'm gonna review Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster and tell how much I actually enjoy that film, the monster itself is just bland. It's just a giant lobster. That's it. Just a giant lobster. Come on, Toho. Out of all the sea creatures out there, like a squid, an octopus, a giant whale. In fact, did you know there were actually the original Godzilla in 1952 was actually gonna be a whale movie, but it got canceled? Kind of interesting. But anyways, out of all the sea creatures, a lobster. It's kind of funny, but also kind of sad for Toho to actually be doing this. But yeah, Ebra, he's gonna be still an F tier. He's not the worst out of all of them. He's probably somewhere in the top 5, but he's not that as bad as the other 3 that I'm gonna be putting in here. Okay, now Gabara. Oh boy. F tier. Just F tier. Now, for some people, yes, I do like it when sometimes he bullies Manila. But it's only that. But everything else, he's just a weak villain. He's nothing just but other than just a weak character who doesn't do anything other than bully Godzilla's son because he can't fight any other monster. Heck, at least Zilla and Ebra at least wanted to fight Godzilla and not just be a little child and just be like, no, let me fight your son instead. Because at least those actually want a fight with the king, not their prince. So, or wanna be friends. So, yeah, Gabra, F tier. And speaking of the wannabe prince, Manila. Obviously, he's F tier, and we all know why. He is annoying. Annoying. Just the definition of annoying. If Manila was in any vocabulary sentence, he'll be in the definition of annoying and whiny. And oh, you think I might be joking, but no. If you watch Son of Godzilla, you see that one scene where Manila just goes because he's crying for no reason. He's just crying while Godzilla's just trying to be a good parent. You know, he can be a bad parent at some points, but at least he's just like, hey son, let's just go. And he just goes, like, quiet. And I'm not gonna show the scene because, no, I don't want to get copyrighted by Toho. And I just hate the voice that he is in Godzilla's Revenge. Like, it sounds like a Patrick Star and Yogi Bear hybrid voice. And don't you think the Japanese voice is better? No. It sounds like an actual woman just on the phone just calling. That's it. So yeah, terrible. And the next monster, oh boy, this thing, also F tier. What? Well, we all know why this is F tier, because it will give people seizures. No, really. And that one scene from versus the sea monster. Do you know what this monster, this giant claw wannabe, actually did? Yeah. Make everyone give seizures because, hey, we haven't got enough seizures already. Final Wars already gave us seizures. And, oh, we don't want just one seizure. We want more. We want to get a bunch of seizures everywhere. So, let's just give it to the giant claw wannabe son thing, and just make him just dance around like the Rodan puppet, but at least the Rodan puppet was actually not shaking around doing all this weird wacky stuff unlike this bird. So yeah, F tier. Terrible. Just terrible. Alright, next monster. Destroyah! Alright, let's get into the top of S tier. In fact, yeah, S tier. He is probably one of the greatest villains in Godzilla history. He is probably amazing. He's just cool looking. In fact, he is probably the true final boss of Godzilla. If there was ever a Godzilla game throughout the Heisei series, Destroyer would have been the final boss. And oh wait, there's already a game for that for the Dreamcast. But I'm not gonna reveal it one day. Maybe just go watch Monster Island's Buddies on that one Godzilla Dreamcast video where it just caught not the origins, at least not like that one where you get a multiple Godzillas. No, another one which is basically around the Heisei series. So yeah, check that one out. In fact, probably gonna leave it a description. Leave it in this description if you actually want to watch that video. So yeah, Destroyer will be S tier. Alright, next monster. Baron. Alright, no, not F tier. He's gonna be. I'm just mixed. I don't know what to do. I'm mixed, but. B tier. Look, I know there's gonna be some people saying, Emmanuel, why are you making Varen in the B tier? And if you don't know what Emmanuel is, that's my name. And also, I put him in B tier. Not look, even though I think he could be used more instead of just left in the dust, I do think he is an actual cool monster. I do like the character, even though he isn't used a lot. In fact, one of the transform things from Singular Point actually kind of looks like Varen. So yeah, probably Toho didn't forget as well in 2004 as like stock footage for like Godzilla Final Wars. So yeah, Varen B tier. Even though there could be some people raging on the comments, remember what I said. It's my opinion. Yours could be yours. I have my own. Alright, Mothra. Alright, let's put him somewhere in A tier. Look, I know some people are gonna be like, Emmanuel, why did you put her in A tier? She's the best character in the Godzilla films. Now let me explain. The reason I put her in A tier and not S tier, like these other three, is because, well, she's in way too many movies. No, really, she is in way too many movies. In fact, she's mainly half of the Millennium era. And just, like, give her a break, Toho. Just give her, Ghidorah, and Mechagodzilla a break. I don't want to see these monsters anymore. Just give the other monsters some actual time and character for the other films. In fact, in Singular Point, we're actually getting to see that, even though their names are different. Anyways, now, the next monster, the Mudos. Okay. Oh wait, wrong monster. No, not Kobobos. The Mudos. They're gonna be B tier. Look, there isn't wrong about the Mudos. No, I do actually think they're cool. I do think they're actually very, very good villains. Now here's the thing. They're not really that much interesting at all. They're just like giant insects, which I'm kind of tired of. Even though we do have like also dinosaur monsters as well, but yeah, they're not really interesting as a design alone. But as villains, yeah, they're very cool looking. But as just insects in general, kind of meh. Even like the skin tone, like a very dark black, like this edgy, punky thing. And now, I'm not being like discriminatory towards the skin. Look, I just think you should do more with the variety with these creatures. Just give them like actual like more variety than just, oh, they exist and are terrestrial. That's it. But yeah, B tier. Not that interesting, but also cool looking. Now Megalon, alright, let's put him at the top. Somewhere in S tier. Look. Oh wait, no. S tier. Alright. Megalon. He is gotta be one of my favorite characters in the 70s Godzilla films. Besides like some other monsters like Gigan or Mechagodzilla. This is one of my favorite monsters. This is just a very cheesy monster that I just love. Now here's the reason why. He's just like, they project him as like this almighty evil destroyer of the world god thing. But when you see him in the movie, he's just a literal child just skipping around over and over and just bullying the main heroes like they're actual bullies. Which is actually kind of funny to actually really think about. Yeah, and also the movie is really cheesy. I do recommend it if you just want to have a laugh with friends. I just think this is just a great character in general. So yeah, S tier. Alright. Now, Gigan. Okay. Let's put him at somewhere around S tier. Oh wait. This S tier. Now look, Gigan has to be the greatest villain of all time. Even though Megalon will always be like my favorite comedic villain, Gigan will always be my favorite villain in the franchise besides Ghidorah. Now here's why. Gigan is just awesome. Look at his design. How can you not tell me that looks bizarre but cool at the same time? He's like a chicken with a chainsaw belly with hooks for hands, and just what I'm saying is just he's a bizarre, weird looking character that I just love. He is just amazing. He is just if you want a real cool Gigan, just go watch Final Wars. But if you want like a cheesy Gigan, probably watch Godzilla vs. Megalon. But Godzilla vs. Gigan himself, he's also cool. But he's not really that interesting, but other than just comedic effect. And also, at one point, Godzilla actually teabags him. Yeah. In the film versus Gigan, he actually teabags Gigan. So then Godzilla invented teabagging. But anyways, yeah, S tier. So, the next sponsor is gonna be, Jet Jaguar. Alright. This monster. This robot Ultraman ripoff. Even though he is a ripoff of Ultraman, like what I said already, he is just cool as a character himself. In fact, even did you know the people working at Toho actually do like this character alone? I'm not even joking. In fact, I think it's a good reason why they brought him back for Seeger points. Probably because for like the nostalgia stuff, but not only that, but because he's just a great character to be around with. Just I can't watch Godzilla vs. Megalon without getting a real huge smile and laugh from this character. And also he could change sizes. No, really, he actually does change sizes. For all those two people who don't know what he does. Now, anyway, yeah, Jet Jaguar, one of the greatest superhero characters of all time. Now, let's go to the next one, which will probably be Rodan. Now, Rodan, probably my friend's favorite character, but he is just gonna go for the S tier. Oh wait. Sorry. Wait. Oh yeah, S A tier instead. Now look, I don't hate Rodan, so just don't at me. But here's the thing. He could use another film for being more interesting. I mean, he is interesting and cool looking, but just use the character more often. I mean, yeah, he is used more often in like a couple of films, but use him like properly. Don't just use him and just say, "Oh hey, I exist." Like in King of the Monsters, where he's just there. You just follow the leader, like, oh, he's the leader now? Like, use him, like, differently. Use him like a cool character. Like, use him like he is like the anti-hero or something. Use him in another film where he fights Batro or Megaguirus at least. That would be more interesting. But yeah, Rodan, even though he's not one of my favorites, he is a good monster, so he is going to be A tier. Alright, now Orga. Let's put him at the top. Orga, obviously, my favorites. Now, Orga is probably one of the first Godzilla villains we have saw as a kid if you watch Godzilla 2000 as your first movie. Now, even though Godzilla 2000 isn't a great movie, let alone it's just a bland film, for kids at least, it'll be interesting. But Orga, just one of the greatest villains to start the Millennium Era. Even though the Millennium Era isn't that interesting, it's just a bunch of reboots, I still like Orga and some of the films in there. Because Orga is just amazing. In fact, I want to see him in Singular Point one day. Maybe just give him some interesting plot point in the series. Like, even though we haven't used Orga in like 22 years, just give him something like new, something like the true powers of him. Since in Godzilla 2000 we didn't really see anything that interesting, so yeah, I want to see something new, something fresh. Now anyways, let's continue with the next character being Gorsaurus. Alright, let's put him somewhere in A tier. No, yeah, probably there. So, Gorsaurus. Alright, Gorsaurus. Now, Gorsaurus is probably at least better than Zilla, and I do hope we do get a Gorsaurus vs. Zilla movie where Gorsaurus does win and proves some people wrong that he can be an actual good fighter. and not just a weak, pathetic fighter like what he was in like King Kong Escapes. I just want more of his character. I just want to see him return for one other film, or just make him in like that Son of Kong movie that Warner Brothers and Legendary are gonna make for the MonsterVerse. Make him the villain at least. Make him like a powerful giant monster that rules the Hollow Earth, and Kong needs to stop him. And Kong's son actually joins the fight Gorosaurus, and he does get defeated. But there's also a son of Gorosaurus who does hide and will come back. Maybe that would have been an interesting plot point for that movie. But yeah, Gorosaurus, he is a cool character. I do like seeing the Destroyah monsters for just fighting with the heroes, which, hey, I kind of like that scene. But yeah, he is that interesting, but he's a cool character, so B tier. Alright, now the next monster, Megaguirus. Okay, Megaguirus will be the first C tier, yeah. Yeah, now, there isn't anything wrong with Megaguirus. I do think he is cool. I do think she is probably a terrifying design for a bug at least, but use her more often. Just make her like somewhere like a Mothra versus Batra film where she comes out of nowhere and she goes for the Batra side, and Mothra is now between two monsters and the military help, which would have been a very interesting point in if that film ever happens. But yeah, Megaguirus, even though she isn't that interesting and she should use more character and stuff like that, I do enjoy her as like one of those villains, even though she isn't that interesting. Alright, the next monster for the list, Biollante. No, wait, sorry, I had to put this up for some people who are not seeing. But anyways, yeah, Biollante. Just there, S tier. Now Biollante is probably one of the most underrated characters. Well, kind of an underrated character. She is getting the love she deserves now in modern time, but damn, she is one of the greatest characters of all time. She is at least better than Mothra for one thing. She is actually interesting and actually uses her for a couple of films. Well, actually one film. And unlike Mothra, who's just used over and over and over, and that song over and over and over, at least Biollante is actually interesting, and it's probably one of the greatest films. Not like the best films, probably a good film, but the movie she's in isn't that great, but it isn't a bad movie either. It's just good. So, what about Biollante herself? Well, she is a very interesting character. She is at least a somewhat beautiful monster. I can see some beauty in her. It's because I'm a lizard. But anyways, yeah. But she is a very interesting character. Now, anyways, let's move on to Ghidorah. Yes, the Godzilla's main villain. Godzilla's Joker of the series. He is A tier. Now, again, what I said about Mothra, he isn't a bad character, but I think he's also way overused too much for the films he's in. And plus, he could use a little break, because it's like, okay, look, it got over to Ghidorah for the billionth time. But yeah, anyways, Ghidorah is just gonna be A tier. I do like his design. I do like his powers. I do like how he is now the main villain of this franchise ever since 64. But yeah, now let's move on to Ghidorah. All right, Ghidorah. Probably not okay, not terrible, but D tier. Now look, now some of you Hedora fans out there will get very angry at me for just putting him or her at D tier. Now let me explain. Hedora isn't that strong as he is. I know, shocking. He isn't. She or she isn't strong. Now look, if you look at the film Godzilla vs. Hedorah very closely, he or she doesn't do anything. Hedorah's just standing there, alone. He's just arguing with Godzilla, he's just flying and just pulling you know what I mean, in Godzilla's face in that one scene, which was very disgusting. And Hedorah isn't that even used a lot in Final Wars. He's just there. And it sucks that he or she could be used for a lot more things. And unfortunately I'm gonna stop there because this is way getting too long. So yeah, I'm gonna make a part 2 about this. So yeah, look out for that because there's a bunch of here, and I'm not gonna waste all my time on just one little vid. So yeah, see ya.